All right. Justin Wolbert out wide. Catch could not be held on by Jacob Havard, and that is incomplete. All right, a very good evening to you. Apologies, just had some technical difficulties. Didn't get any good news to start this one, though, as a slant route is intercepted. And the other way is the Annalee wide receiver and forced out at the 40, and this has been a horrible start for the Trojans. That was their first possession. A good return by Garrett Freitas brought it out to the 45 there, but the interception on 3rd and down gives it back to Annalee at the 40. First play for Annalee, they started at the 30, and a man broke 3 of the defense and raced into the end zone, 60-yard touchdown, and this is starting exactly how it did last year for the Trojans against Annalee, exactly how they would not want it to start. All right, so Annalee will start at the 40, and a screen and a good tackle. Derek Pomey on the tackle there, and a loss there. If I keep on, 2nd down and 12 for Annalee, 2-yard loss on that, and the Trojan defense needs to step up. This could not have been a worse start for the Trojans, but they've had some bad starts before, kept their head held up high, few broken tackles there, and that's going to be a positive gain of about 5 yards. It was Wolbert, the starting quarterback for the Trojans, who made the tackle. So it will be the Annalee quarterback, Medina, in the gun, and he's got a man out wide, wrestled down by Freitas. But that is just enough for the first. 11-yard pickup for Medina, a nice throw there. We're going to have to scoot back probably to... Up the middle goes Annalee, and little there. And thank you to Eric Carter tonight, who is doing some emergency camera work. He is not even in Trojan Live, but he's doing a great job helping out tonight. 8:10 remaining, so 7-0 Annalee after the touchdown. They scored, and then the interception, and they're walking down the field right now. Annalee 1-2 on the season. Trojans are undefeated 4-0. They haven't faced someone like Annalee. They've looked awfully good so far. They face adversity, and Luke Haggard was the first man there. And a smart play by Medina to just throw that one away. The senior 6'1 quarterback, 200 pounds, has been in the shadow of Jack Newman, the quarterback of the last 2 years, but he recently graduated. A lot of seniors lost on the SCL championship team for Annalee last year, so they have made some changes, and they've had some struggles, and this is why the Trojans thought they could finally beat Annalee for the first time in 7 years. They already beat Casa for the first time in 7 years last week, their biggest rival. Annalee, their biggest rival in SCL. Annalee, though we did mention 1-2, as we have some signal problems here on the 3rd and 7 from the 25 of the Trojans. Annalee faced Rancho and Cardinal Newman their last 2 games. 2 of the best teams, almost intercepted. Pomey was there. It falls incomplete. A huge defensive stop there for the Trojans. They badly needed that. 7:51 to go. Derek Pomey already everywhere on the field. He's such an outstanding player. And now we will see what Annalee decides. It'd be a 45-yard field goal, which would be large for the junior, Escarnia. And they are awaiting the call from the sideline. Be 7 yards. Try to convert for Annalee and keep this drive going, already leaving 7-0. Trojans defense was stout against Casa last week. They're looking in the end zone. Touchdown, Annalee. Havard on coverage, and the wide receiver went right by him, and so far the speed has been too much for the Trojans, and this has been a disastrous start. They got the stop. They thought they had it, but the 4th and 7, and promptly Annalee converted, and just like that, 13-0. And here is the extra point by Escarnia. Trojans need some sign of good momentum. It's a wobbly, ugly kick, but it just, no, it did not go over. That was a high pop fly, and it didn't make it. And the Trojans are going to have to pick themselves up. They've been down before. They were down by as many as 16 against Terra Linda 2 weeks ago. Costa came back from 14-0. They almost lost that one. So they faced a lot of adversity, but 7:46, you've just had less than 5 minutes of this game, and nothing has gone right. I'm going to hop on camera here, and Griffin Epstein here with you, Trojan Live. We are recording here on the road a huge SCL game, both teams' first game of the year, but these are the two favorites to win SCL. Annalee, as we mentioned, not as expected to be as good. This should be the Trojans' year, especially with the great team they have to finally win it, but not a good start so far. Justin Wolbert and the offense will need to pick it up. However, Jacob Ralston, a fantastic season so far. The Trojans will have to look for them, but they got behind the sticks on that first possession at a 3rd and 7, and Wolbert threw his first interception of the year, so cannot do that. Annalee banned here tonight. Good kick by Escarnia. And Turner's going to have to go back and guess this one. The senior has some speed, heads to the outside. He's looking to break a tackle. Now he cuts back and just decides to head forward. And right in front of us, he will be out at the 16. That was an adventure for Turner. So 1st and 10, and now from the 7, illegal use of hands called on Turner. Wolbert will hand it off. It's Garrett Freitas. He's got a hole at the 20. He jukes the man and down to the 30. And Garrett Freitas always provides such key energy for the Trojans. And you saw it right there. A great play by Freitas, bursting through, and a 15-yard run for the electric Freitas. I form, and it's Freitas again, the I back, but they'll give it to Dominic Ayers, the power back, and there's not a lot there for the senior running back. He's going to be stood up. They're going to blow the whistle. 1-yard pickup, and that will bring up 2nd down. So good to see for the Trojans. Garrett Freitas had a nice kickoff return. He looks very healthy. He was out against Terra Linda with a arm issue, and he clearly was not 100%. Last week against Costa, did not play a lot, but so far he's been the one electric source for the Trojans, and they're going to need a pick-me-up, down 14-0. Ayers is the lone man in the backfield. The Trojans run the ball, and then they run it some more. Ayers trying to fight for yardage. He's got a couple there, but they're going to be behind the sticks here, 3rd and long. They're going to be at the 34, 6 minutes to go and counting. Second, and they're going to say 3rd and 6 from the 34. We're going to be under 6 minutes after this next snap in the first quarter. Annalee leading 14-0 here from Chip Castleberry Stadium in Sebastopol. The Annalee Tigers and the Petaluma Trojans could just decide the SCL championship. Turner comes in motion. Miscommunication with Freitas, and there was nowhere to go. I don't know what they were trying there, but Freitas pretty much ran into Wolbert. They're talking about it now, but everybody down right now on the sideline. This has not gone as planned for the Trojans to start here in this really monumental game. Nick Ayers on to punt, his first of the game, and he's been very good. He was busy last week against Costa when the Trojan offense stalled. And first we have whistles. And it is 4th and 7, so if this is a 5-yard penalty in Annalee, it would just be 4th and 2. Timeout they're going to give to Annalee, and the Trojans will get some time to talk it over. So it will be Ayers on. He's averaging 40 yards a punt, and that one is a good one. Fair catch is called. Pomey down on the coverage. It will be Annalee ball. And a packed crowd here tonight. Annalee stands are full. Plenty of Trojan supporters came in their purple for this huge one. A lot of excitement around a 4-0 team. And the pass is dropped by the Tiger. Coverage was good there. Isaiah Blomgren in the area. And the Trojan defense is going to need to help out a struggling offense, but So far, some breaks in coverage in the secondary, which is exactly what the Trojans were worried about coming in. They've largely shut down the run all season long, but it's a much younger secondary, and there are some players to pick on, and that's what we've seen so far. And Annalee loves a quick strike attack. They'll head back to it. That's going to be about a 7-yard pickup to the 45. Chidester with the catch. Havard forced him out. Under 5 to go, 13-0 Annalee. This is going to bring up a big third down. Trojans need a stop and the ball back. So let's move just slightly down. It is in the gun, and now the hard count, and the Trojans are blown off sides, and that's going to give the first down on the 3rd and 2 to the Tigers.
Outside against the territory and good enough for a Tiger first.
Medina with 636 passing yards on the season, just 3 games, and he's looked pretty good so far. You thought, oh no, Jack Newman? That might help, but right now, Medina is lighting up this defense for the Trojans. And already into the 35 is Annalee, and right now they are just cruising down the field. Medina in the gun, and he's looking long towards Freitas in coverage. He's beat and dropped. Oh, goodness. Garrett Freitas, another cornerback beat. They've had tested 3 new cornerbacks on the defense. All 3 have been beat. The first 2 were for touchdowns. That time it was just dropped by Roos Howell, the junior. So Trojans get a big break there, but they are going to have to shore up the secondary, or this is going to be a long and not fun night at all, with a lot of fans coming out to support the Trojans. It's not been good so far. They'll take it to the ground. Annalee doesn't love it as much, and the Trojans so good. Seeing a little bit of shoving by Freitas and a Tiger. And so this will big up a 3rd down and 5. Overcast night, and it's going to cool down. At the 30 is the Tigers. Probably 4th down territory. Slant pass is caught. A good tackle by Freitas, but that's enough for a first down. Let's move down. So 1st down and 10 from the 23, and Annalee just going right down the field again. They have just 42 rushing yards on the year. And similar to the Trojans, they're one-dimensional, but right now they can even go to the run game because the Trojans are putting no one on the line. The passing is just torching them. Haggard will make the stack. But right now, a lot of confidence for Annalee. They've had a tough start to the year. They play Marin Catholic next week, which is going to be tough for them. But Annalee is roaring its might right now. The Trojans came in with so much confidence, and Annalee has zapped that out. And that ball's on the ground. A bizarre play there. Crysdale's going to get to Medina. Medina, I think, faked the pass, tried to hold it back. The ball slipped right out. He got lucky with the bounce. It bounced right off this artificial turf, which is quite nice, and right back into his hands. And he just fell on it. So we'll get a yard and 3rd and 1. Tigers could try a field goal, but the way the offense is going, I would just keep on throwing it some fade routes. Trojans defended those well last week against Casa, but Offerman and Medina, clearly 2 different levels of quarterbacks. And wrapped up, Annalee tried to get a yard. I'm not sure he got it. That's going to be close. And they are going to give him the first down after Overton makes the tackle. So Sam Gallagher just with that pass before we got back. It was 9-yard pickup. 2nd and 1 from the 5. Darting and diving is Simpson. Picks up just a yard. So many of these players just did not have a lot of experience with so many seniors last year, but they have been up for the task so far, and they have played 3 games, and they played some good teams, and they haven't looked afraid at all, that's for certain. And so under 2 minutes left to go in a nightmarish first quarter for the Trojans. Annalee has looked much more ready. They did have a bye week last week, and that's certainly big, while the Trojans just played Saturday against Casa, and obviously tired and emotional after the big rivalry victory. QB sneak, touchdown Annalee. That will make it 19-0 awaiting the extra point, and it is all Tigers in this first quarter. The Tigers stand's not even that excited. It looks so one-sided to start here, and Trojans definitely looking a little tired. You wonder how impacted they are from that emotional win. They said they would turn it around, focus on Annalee, knowing that's just as important, but they have gotten nothing going. Escabilla missed his last extra point after hitting the first. High snap. This one looks much better. Right down the uprights. 20-0, 1:28 remaining in the first quarter. All Tigers to start here from Chip Castleberry Stadium. Let's get a better angle. Let's move, actually. So, Escovillo to kick it away, and it's that passing attack for Annalee, and that was definitely a big concern. The Trojans have struggled on the pass. They gave a lot of yards last week to Offerman. It's such a strong defensive line, but they haven't got any pressure. Defense has allowed 479 yards in the air, contrary to just 200 on the ground. And the touchback by Escovillo. Trojan offense will try to get something going here, because so far the defense for Annalee has looked stifling. And the Trojan offense, which the concern last week was they became pretty one-dimensional, could not pass the football. And the only pass attempt by Justin Wolbert was an interception. We haven't seen a lot of Ralston yet. Garrett Freitas has been the only spark on the offense so far. He looks fully healthy, and that is a bright spot. 1:28, Trojans badly need something going here. This has just been a house of horrors for the Trojans, and it continues. They might not see Annalee next year with the realignment, but they might be glad about that. Man in motion is Diaz. They'll give it to Ayers. He's getting a lot of action. He plunges forward for 3 yards. He is the short yardage man. Just 158 rushing yards on the season coming into this one, but 28 carries. He will get a lot of action just to get those short yards. Freitas will enter back in. 1 minute remaining. And 2nd and 6. Wolbert under center. Ayers again in the backfield. Turner's in motion. They'll toss it to him. They like this, and they've got blockers out. Turner finds a block down the sideline, and Turner finally tackled out, but I think there might be holding on this. We will await the call. A really nice run by Turner. He gets all the way to the 40, but I believe this is coming back. We'll await the call. A nice play nonetheless, and good blocking out on the left side by the Trojans, but indeed will be holding as Justin Turner is holding his head. It just seems like anything that can go right will not. And there's a lot of frustration right now everywhere on this Trojan side of the field. 37.6, and they're going to get all the way back to the 21 on the holding. So that will make it, they're going to call it a spot foul. So it's 2nd and 6 because of the holding, where the holding occurred. They're going to bring it 10 yards back. Mr. Jackson has accomplished his task of standing in front of the camera for the evening. It's fine.
Very, very sorry for getting in your shots.
No problem. Mr. Jackson does a great job compiling all the stats for the Trojans. Very helpful for all of us. Now they threw it behind Freitas. He's going to pick it up and just go down, which is the smart play. And Freitas was looking the wrong way, and the pass was behind him. And the Trojans are playing like they are scared. 3rd and 4, clock running down. I don't think the Trojans have any desire to take a snap to end this first quarter. Nothing could have gone better. 3rd and 17 is the down. And they are not going to take a snap before the end of this first quarter. Score at the end of 1, it's the Tigers 20, the Trojans 0. All right, the stats tell the story that first quarter, 20-0, Trojans 34 yards. Annalee with 115 yards just in the air. So they have torched them on the air. Trojans have no answers on the defensive end. They look disastrous. Offensively, 4 first downs. They haven't been horrible, but they haven't gotten a lot of opportunity with the ball. And the way the Annalee offense looks, they would have to be really, really good. And we have, interestingly, not seen much of Jacob Ralston. Night has fallen here. Starting to cool down. Beautiful sunset. That might be the last good lighted D the Trojans see for a long time. Trailing 20-0. They just rushed it on 3rd and 10, got 1 yard, and now Nick Ayers getting ready to punt it away. It's a good one by Ayers, who's done a good job, the junior. And Havard's going to let it roll down it at the 40. Is it? Yeah, it's just... Oh, so 11-12 remaining. And the Trojan defense is going to have to try to get something, a stop. Right now, Medina has looked just as good as Jack Newman last year, who was pretty much unstoppable by any defense. Rancho and Newman slowed down this offensive attack, but as we mentioned, those are two outstanding teams. Low snap, I think actually Medina picked it up on the ground. He's flattened, but broken tackles, a nice spin move, and dragged down at the 49 is the Tiger receiver. It was Simpson, who we've seen already with some nice catches. And 11:03, and Tigers quickly into Trojan territory, and even there they get the pressure, but they're able to complete the pass on the screen, get yardage. Well, Trojans know passes are coming. And he fakes. Now he looks downfield. Complete miscommunication there between Medina and the wide receiver, and it's thrown over everybody's head. And that will bring up a 2nd and 10. Ponzo was the receiver intended for, but he stopped, and Medina threw it like he was going to continue running. Really beautiful field here, as we mentioned. Just 3rd year, I believe, artificial turf. Got really nice stands in the press box. Tucked away here. Gorgeous athletic facilities at Annalee. 10:44 remaining here in the second. Medina in the gun. He's got 3 split out wide, 1 split out left. Running back comes out of the backfield and wrestled down by Dominic Ayers. That was one of the nicer plays we've seen. Ayers reading that screen perfectly and taking him down. And that's going to make it 3rd and 10. And Trojans trying to badly get off the field here. Will punt it away. It's going to actually be, 3rd and 12. Trojans trying to get them to punt it away. And the key so far, we've seen the Tigers test the experienced cornerbacks, and they've avoided the middle of the field where Riley Wisman, the Trojans' defensive captain, is. They go out wide, and they had a receiver, and Medina just overthrew it. So a breakdown there. Trojans survive. It only has made a few mistakes, which we've never seen before by their football team. But it's still been good enough. There have been only a few of those. However, first punt for the Tigers, it's going to be Eskar Mia, the kicker. So that is good news for the Trojans. They'll get their offense back on the field, and this is a good one. Freitas is going to take it, and he's going to have a fun run back. Dipping and darting, he jukes past 2. That was a nice return out to the 20. So 9:51 remaining here in the second. Trojans will get the ball back from the 14 of the Tigers, or their own 14. Band for Annalee in full force in uniforms. You got 3 tubas, that's pretty good. And they're playing pretty nicely if you want to focus in on them. Their blue jerseys, a lot of drums. It's a pretty small band actually, but sounded pretty good. Back on the field, Wolbert is under center, and he's going to hand it off. Couldn't see who that was. Ayers has gotten a lot of work so far, and it was him. No, I'm sorry, that was Ralston, who's not gotten a lot of work. Interesting decision. He's such a bruising running back, but that was like the second time we've called his name tonight. He is really the heart and soul of this Trojan team, offensively and defensively. Ralston, 331 yards on the year and 9 touchdowns. And he's just gashed pretty much every team he played. Costa did a good job, though, limiting him. And up the middle is Wolbert for the sneak. It'll bring down the 3rd and reasonable. It was 2nd and 6, and now it's going to be up 3rd and 3. And that's where the Trojans want it. They're fine with a 3rd and 3-ish, but they cannot have 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8s where they're in must-pass downs. That just will not work. If they're actually going to have a 3rd and 1, Annalee students section leading the cheers. So big 3rd and 1 here. Trojans need to get moving offensively. Not even 50 yards yet for a team that has firepower. Wolver will take it himself. Dips and darts, gets blown up after he got the first down. But the first down nonetheless. For a Trojan team searching for answers. They get their 5th first down. They have 1,385 yards on the year, which sounds like a lot, but not a lot tonight. Over 1,000 yards rushing. They have been so good on the ground. They put up 40 points each of their first 3 games. But Casa did have some answers last week, only allowed 20 points. Offense really became one-dimensional, and so far we have seen the Annalee Tigers stack the box too and been effective. Ralston trying to get the Trojans going, and he has a good pickup there of 8. So can the Trojans compete offensively while only rushing it? They face Terra Linda, Montgomery, and Santa Rosa. All scored 40 points, 50 points actually, over 50, as Ralston comes a little limping off the field, so he might not be feeling 100%. He gets so much action. And so 2nd and 2 after the 8-yard pickup. And they were slowed down last week offensively, and so far have not picked it up where they had the first 3 games. Ayers up the middle. Is that the first? They will give it. Trojans move the sticks again, and this is more what you want to see. Long offensive drives, lots of rushing, and just slowly boiling it down the throat of the Tigers. 1st and 10 from the 40. Yeah, let's move 7 minutes and counting. The problem for the Trojans is they love those long 8-minute drives, but they're already down 20-0, and so they're going to have some quicker strikes. See what Garrett Freitas has to say. They'll try a pass. It's overthrown, though. So they at least try a pass to keep the defense guessing. Not a bad idea. Was intended.
Hey, we're all right, boys. Let's go.
For... I don't have that number. 2nd and 10 from the 40. That will stop the clock. Problem here is going for that on 1st down. Trojans already falling behind the sticks now, and you're going to have to get some nice yardage to prevent a 3rd and long. It's Wolbert under center, and it's just 10 men right now. No wide receivers, but Trojans will do that a lot. Wolbert splits out wide. They'll talk it to ball on the ground. And I think Turner got it to it, but he might have popped out late. Tiger ball. And all those nice trick plays and movements and all of that we saw from the Trojans' first 3 games, so effective, just have done less, and they've not looked effective. They look timid, scared, and really the Trojans punched them in the gut with the first play from the line of scrimmage, 80 yards for the touchdown. Annalee has not responded since. Or excuse me, the Trojans have not responded since, and the Tigers have just continued to impose their will on both sides of the ball, and the last thing the Trojans could afford was a turnover. So 6:44 remaining here in the second, 20-0. It's not completely out of hand yet, so the Trojan defense will need to make another stop here after they did the first time, or the last time. And now, delay of game is going to be called on Annalee. 1st and 10, they've got a screen and they've got blockers. A missed tackle, but there's going to be holding called here, as it was a block on the back. Freitas was shoved, and that will make it a 1st and 20 for Annalee. 6:35 remaining here in the second. Trojans beat Annalee yesterday on the volleyball court, and speaking of rolling past opponents, the volleyball team certainly did that. They remain undefeated in SCL, 5-0, 3-set straight set victory. That was live stream, so you can check that out on our YouTube channel. And the Trojan volleyball team looking pretty good so far, undefeated in SCL, 10-1 on the year. They've already beat Sonoma and Annalee, top two teams besides them in the league, and they are in control of SCL right now to win it. The football team wanted that with a victory tonight. Medina, the slant, pass is caught, and it's going to take a whole gang of Trojans to finally wrestle him down. He gets close to the original line of scrimmage, so it'll bring up about a 2nd down and 10 for Seth with the catch for the tackle. And Ayers, who's had a strong game tonight with the tackle. 41-yard line they will give it for Annalee. It's already starting to really cool down here. And we're going to have another penalty. This time, offsides on the Trojans. That's just sloppiness. They've got to pick their heads up. So hyped up for this game, and just nothing has gone right, and they haven't been able to get any positivity. A lot of heads down on the sideline right now, and it's affecting their play. Medina looks out wide. He's got a man. Broken tackle, and he's sprinting into the end zone. Touchdown, Tigers. Luke Laconzo, and he caught that first touchdown, and he's caught another one here. He had the third one, too, and that's going to make it 26-0. The PA announcer doesn't even sound too excited about it. Zoom in. Eric doing a great job with the camera work tonight. Another kick here for Esmacia. He is 3 for 4 on the night and make that 4 for 4. 27-0, 5:44, and all Tigers here in this first half. Only loss last year for the Trojans was against Annalee. They got killed on their home field. Lost that one 50-something to 7. And Escamilla has looked like a good kicker, and that is another beauty. Annalee lost his kicker last year, but he has looked good. Justin Turner trying to get something going, wrapped up at the 20, and that is where the Trojan offense will take up, looking to get something going on offense with 5:37 to go. Didn't get much last year against the Trojan defense. All the seniors left, replaced by new players that had mostly been on JV, but they've just looked as dominant as always, and certainly the bye week, a lot of preparation. Obviously, a lot of new players that we mentioned haven't been on varsity for Annalee, and that bye week and all that rest, obviously so key for just preparing, and you wonder how much that affected Annalee those first few weeks, and now they are in full season. Bam was playing Eye of the Tiger, and the Trojans have walked right into one. And it hasn't gone too well. There's the seam down the sideline. It's a foot race. He's at the 40, 30. He's got a man behind him. They're going to drag him down at the 15. Let's move down. All right, so that was what they needed. Ayers finally, we got to move down a little more, I think. Ayers finally dragged down at the 19, but that was a 58-yard run. And Dominic Ayers, what a strong start. I haven't seen a lot from Ralston. That is who they give it to here, and he's wrapped up. Ayers was just run back, and that looked like some late aggression by Annalee and should have been clearly unnecessary roughness. There's no call. Coach Kirsten wasn't very happy with some of the calls earlier that were questionable, and now he's not too happy at all. Gives Garrett Frey some instructions. He'll come back to the huddle. Ayers will get a breather, but a big play there. That certainly woke up the Trojans' stands and sideline. They need something to go right, and they did. And hopefully, as a Trojan supporter, you want to see them pick their head up and really try to get going. Fog has rolled in, and you can see it in the lights. It's sitting over the field, and that is why it's already freezing in. Walbert will send Turner in motion, handoff up the middle, and breaking tackle. I'm sorry, he did toss to Turner. No, Walbert took it himself, so a good fake there. Want to see those strong fakes by the Trojans, and that one was a better one. Oh yeah, they did this before. No, we're good. We're good here. Yeah. Ref anticipating the fade always tells me to get back here. We'll head up top for the second half for another high-quality camera angle. Handoff. No, I'm sorry, the fake. Then he wanted to toss to Freitas, but there was so much traction, and the offensive line, which has been so good for the Trojans, has gotten a few holes, but for the most part has struggled to control the strong defensive line for the Tigers. A lot of big men up there. Faganiti leads them, number 54, on the left side. So 2nd and 9, 3:24. Trojans want something to be happy about. If they could go on a run, this one's not totally over yet. They'll toss it out wide to Freitas, trying to break some tackles. They've really tried to give it to him and get some energy, but he only gets maybe a yard or two, and it's going to be 3rd and long. And the Trojans has to be 4th down territory for them. Burnham is only a junior, but he leads the Tigers in tackles also on that line with 26 total tackles. 20 by Callison and 16 by Lepori. All those players on the defensive line, and that has looked like a stronghold of the Tigers, and that was not what the Trojans wanted. Up the middle was Ayers, and he got a few. It's going to bring up about a 4th down and 5, as it was goal. And this is obviously Trojans have to go for it. 3 points just does not do anything for you at this point. They need 7. Have some changes. They give it to Ralston for the short yardage, and he's been so good. Trojan fans trying to cheer them on, knowing how important this play is. Walbert under center. And first we have a timeout by Coach Chris, which is certainly not a bad idea. Judging by the importance, this is late in the second quarter, your probably last gas for the Trojans if they want anything, any chance in the second half to really get things going. 2:04 remaining, 4th and 5, and we'll see what the Trojans draw up here. They had so many just really nice looking plays with a lot of movement and motion in those first 3 games, and it just kept even without the passing, it kept the team guessing, and there was so much to guess about. They could open up the pass game, but we didn't see that against Casa last week, and they really became one-dimensional and struggled to score, only put 20 points on the board in that game. A few turnovers too. They've already turned it over twice here. Finally a big drive here with Ayers the run, but they've gotten just a couple passing yards, just 2 completions by Wolbert, and they just tried 1 downfield. 4th and 5. It is Ralston, the one man in the backfield, and you'd expect they'd give it to him. He's been really good on 2-point conversions, but instead it's a pass. Wolbert rolls out, he's looking for Ralston in the flat, and he's in! Touchdown Trojans, ball comes out late, doesn't matter though. It's a big touchdown for Petaluma, and a great play there. They clearly designed it and practiced it. He rolled out, and Ralston was there, open in the flat, dived on in. We can get closer now. And the Trojans are on the board, 27-6. We'll see if they try 2-point conversions. You say you don't want to chase points, but when you're down by 21 points, you might just want to chase them. And the Trojans have been very good in short yardage. Against Terra Linda, it became a game of 2-point conversions, and they were 7 of 8. Wolbert will fake, and diving, he's in. 2-point conversion, that is big. Wolbert just taking one for the team, reaches for it, gets it, 27-8. And finally some positivity, you have to think, for the Trojans, and they just want to make sure to get the Tigers off the field, and they will get the ball to start the second half, trailing 27-8. So it will be Hogya who's taken over for Blomgren for the kickoff duties. Blomgren's still PAT man and field goals. That's not attempted any field goals. Hogya's done a good job, though. Trojans in that quick huddle there, which can warrant the opportunity for onside. Annalee was ready for it. Trojans have tried that before. And now Hogg get to kick it away. Mentioned this possession so big, Trojans badly need a stop here, and they can get the ball back and something go right. This is a squibber, and now running across the field is the Tiger, and finally brought down. Siri was the man who picked it up. This is good field position, though, for the Tigers. Just had that short kick, and Annalie's got plenty of time here, the quick strike offense, to get something going. .151 for them. And they will get it at the 47. Medina in the gun. It's Simpson next to him. They've tried a lot of screens, and it's been effective. Medina's going to change the play from the sideline. He's a senior, but obviously tutelage last year from Newman. So smart, you can tell. Ball is tipped up, intercepted by the Trojans. It was tipped. There have been some drops by the young wide receivers. And who was it who pulled it down? It was Jacob Havard with the monumental pick. The ball pipped right up and right into the wide receiver at Havard's hand. He doesn't have any catches on the season offensively, but now he has a huge play defensively, and all of a sudden, the Trojans have an opportunity to get something going offensively, and this could be a two-possession game heading into the locker room. Things are going right, and we'll see if Justin Woolward and the offense can pick their heads up. It's been the Dominic Ayers show so far, and this is Ralston, who's maybe got a yard. Offensive line with a few holes, but they've been relatively inconsistent. They're going to give nothing to Ralston. And that clock is running. 2 timeouts for Coach Chris. Obviously don't want to give Annalee the ball back here, but I think you do want to try something. Make sure to zoom in more. It's Wolbert under center. Turner came in motion.
Urgency!
But that was Freitas. And now Coach Chris rushes out to call timeout. Freitas have the toss to the right. We're shielded. But 4 yards. It's going to be 3rd down and 6. 1 minute left. And a big play here for the Trojans, wanting to get some more points before the half. A huge interception by Jacob Havard gave the Trojans the ball back after Dominic Ayers had a 50-yard run down the field to set up the Trojan touchdown. And Wolbert added a 2-point conversion to get the first points on the board for the Trojans. Oh, yeah.
Boys, let's go!
So 3rd and 6 from the 44 of the Tigers. It's Havard and Freitas split out to the right. It's Ralston, the man behind Wolbert. Annalee, though, playing up, but they'll try to roll out. He gets up a good pass to Ralston. Couldn't get a lot on it, but the coverage was good there, and he's going to be stopped short. He maybe picked up 2. A similar play to the 2-point conversion, but it didn't work. And the pressure was key there by Annalee. Wolbert had to get rid of it quick. The O-line has just not stood up and pushed back defenses like we've seen in the past. 4th and 6 here, and you can't possibly give it to the Tigers back on the field. Annalee will call timeout. They want one last chance, so you'd assume the Trojans would try to pin Annalee back and have to head to the locker room with this score the way it is. As we mentioned last year, Trojans lost to Annalee. They didn't lose another SCL game the whole season. They really rolled through everyone else they played. They won 7 straight games to finish SCL. Al Molino expect to be good after they were good last year. Trojans rolled over them last year, though. Many of the same players return on both teams. But Annalee has showed so far that they are going to be the team to beat in SCL in the last year, likely, of at least this configuration of leagues consistent. And with this configuration of 7 teams, Annalee has not lost a game in SCL. 37-0. Last loss was to Casa Grande 7 years ago when Casa was still in SCL. Wolbert rolls out, dropped. Well, I'm not sure it was dropped. The pass wasn't perfect. Ayers couldn't pull it down. Coach Chris goes for it. It's the risky call, and now the Tigers will get the ball back. 2 times. So the timeout was actually on the Trojans. 2 timeouts left for Annalee. They're going to pretty much get it back where they had it for the interception by Havard. And John Cando says hello. 53. Oh, your friend's on track. I get it. 53 seconds left. We'll see if Annalee tries to take a shot downfield. They've been so effective at that. 2 passing plays of over 30 yards. Trojans just need to get to the locker room, at least with this deficit. All wide receivers to the left. They left early. At least I saw they did. The look down seed to the one receiver on the right. Great defensive play by Isaiah Blomgren. Howard was on coverage. He struggled tonight, besides the interception, but it was Isaiah Blomgren who's done a great job from the corner as the other cornerback. Annalee is trying to test the more unexperienced there, but Blomgren came over, helped out exactly how you're supposed to there, and tipped that one away. It will stop the clock. 46 seconds remaining here in this first half. 27-8 on a frigid night here in Sebastopol. Medina fakes, and now he's going to hand off, and he's got a big hole, one man to beat, and a great tackle by by Wisman. He saved a touchdown there. The draw play was genius, set up by Annalee because everybody was yelling pass. It was a huge delay, and the Trojans had rolled way back, and just like that, down to the 35 is the Tiger offense. The clock was running. Medina takes off, and he's got some room, and he's somehow still going. Finally, he's going to be taken down, but that's another first down. Let's move down.
Forward progress on the 25-yard line. There we go. We're at the 23, where it is first.
So Annalee will call one of their 2 remaining timeouts. They're going to want to keep one. 23 seconds left. They're at the 23, and you expect they could take a few shots into the end zone before the end of this half, and if not, the field goal is a reasonable option. Performance coming up by the Annalee Band here at the halftime. Full stands. Trojans brought, a good probably 200, 300 supporters. 30 minutes northeast here. Trojans back home next weekend. Be Saturday game. Due to Trojans sharing the field with Casa. Saturday game against Sonoma. And Sonoma, not a bad team. Trojans were tested by them last year. Good defense. Many of those same players returned from last year's Dragon squad. And we will try to live stream that, but if not, we'll have that recorded and up by Saturday, or Sunday morning it will actually be. Medina in the gun. He's got Simpson to his right, who's mostly been a decoy or out of the backfield. Not much rushes, but he did have that one big pickup. They'll split it out wide. Good tackle. We got to move down.
Medina finds Ponzo. He picked up the first down. Ball spotted at the 11-yard line. First and 10 Tigers.
Oh.
Medina spikes it to stop the clock with 15.7 seconds left in the half. Second down and 10.
Oh. So Medina spikes it after the catch by Ponzo. Good tackle by Freitas out wide, who has been tested a lot, and he has had some struggles early in the season. So much film you can tell watched by Annalee. They have picked out the weak spots of the Trojans. Trying to get one more touchdown here. They'll go out wide. Passes too wide, and that will bring up a third down because of the spike on the previous play. They're going to leave one timeout left. 12 seconds remaining. They are at the 13 of the Trojans, who badly need a stop here after the touchdown. Certainly brought their heads up, and then a big interception, but they couldn't do anything offensively. Medina back in the gun, as he almost always is, and Simpson to his right. It's a similar configuration, but you don't know where the ball is going. This time it's over the middle, wide open. Touchdown Tigers. That is killer. That really hurts. The Trojans got the big touchdown, seem to be back into it, but the Tigers go down the field, 8 seconds left, and they score. And now we're going to head to the halftime, and Annalee in firm control. And the Trojans are going to be certainly muling a few play calls, especially going for that on 4th down with 1 minute left at midfield. Just a few yards short from converting. Could be a 14-point difference. That one sails into the night and good. Escovino will make it 34 to 8, and that pretty much effectively will do it for the first half. 231 receiving yards Annalee averages on the year, 84 yards on the ground. But obviously a lot less. They only put up 7 points in both against Rancho and Cardinal Newman. They've already put up 34 in the first half. They put up 42 against Maria Carrillo in their opener. Freitas will take it, looking for one spark to finish the half. I'm sorry, that is Freitas. Taking down 2.4, and Coach Chris says take a knee. We have a flag first, so they get ready to head to the locker room. With Annalee in firm control of this one. They struck from the opening play, the 70-yard touchdown pass. A turnover, Annalee got it right back. And they're going to wave off the flag. And just like that, it was 14-0, and the Trojans really were punched in the face. They couldn't respond. And all of a sudden, they were down 27-0. Finally got a touchdown. Then an interception by Havard, and all of a sudden, they got the ball at midfield. 1 minute left, could make it a two-possession game. But they could not convert. Go for it on fourth. Annalee strikes back. And a very down-looking roster sideline as they will head to the sideline. Wolbert just 3 for 7 for 5 yards, but Medina, well, he's looked just like Newman last year, 14 for 25. He has torched the Trojans for 195 yards. We've seen Ponzo all over the field, 150 yards. Simpson had a big run, so he totals 51. It's mostly been Dominic Ayers with 85, but the interesting story, Jacob Ralston has really been limited tonight, only 18 yards on the ground for the Trojans from Ralston. Ayers with over 80, 34 to 8. Second half is coming up after we have some interviews next. All right, time to check out the cheerleaders' performance. Cheerleaders will try to get some good vibes for the Trojans, trailing 34 to 8. So we'll listen in as the cheerleaders perform. Great performance by the cheerleaders. That will help bring up the vibes. They can stop it. All right, 34 to 6, the halftime score. We just gave you the stats. They're pretty lopsided, but obviously that key moment there with the Trojans looked like they had a chance after the Havard interception, and they were not able to do anything. Do they have any chance in the second half? It looks unlikely the way the defense has just been torched by Medina. They cannot stop this passing attack, and Annalee has played so smart. They have obviously watched tons of film in the last 2 weeks with the bye week. I think that has played a lot into this deficit with all the time they've had to prepare. Trojans have looked like they've had a lack of prepare. There's not a lot of creativity on their offense, and didn't see a lot of creativity last week either, and they've really had no answers. If the ground game doesn't work, they don't know where to go. Dominic Ayers has been the only option for them.
So I'm Justin Giacomi Plumtree.
I'm Joey Alioto.
And so you're the quarterback, right? For
Something like that, yeah.
And you caught the pass. So just describe what happened at the end of the game here in the JV game.
Rolling out to the right, and this guy over here wide open to my left. Throw it across the field, and this guy runs for 80 yards for a game-winning touchdown.
Pretty much described the whole thing perfectly.
Kind of a
What was the feeling like?
It was exhilarating and really tiring.
Yeah, he was slowing down.
And what do you think this means? Trojans have struggled, just all the football teams against the Annalee varsity team, not so great. But the JV team gets a win. How important do you think that is?
It's good. We can build on it for the rest of the year as our first league game. So hopefully it's toughest test so far. Hopefully we keep growing and doing better. And then hopefully in a couple years we can keep on going. Then we can when we're at varsity, we can beat them.
Yeah, and the JV team is undefeated. Why are you guys playing so well, and how do you hope to keep it going?
I really got to thank the JV wideouts. JV wideouts picking up the field. They're putting working. What about you? What do you think?
Man, it's what? Oh, the O-line, man. Our line has actually been super, super helpful. They've blocked everyone. This game was a little bit tougher for them. We didn't have a great practice, and our defense has just been unstoppable.
Yeah, today we didn't have the best offense today, but our defense really picked it up and saved our butts.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Really good interview there with the JV football players. Good to see that the JV football team got the win. Things went right for them, but all the good players are on the varsity team for Annalee. They've looked pretty good. They're dancing on the sideline right now, confident, and they have made few mistakes. There have certainly been plenty of mistakes by the Trojans, and they have been unable to afford them. And they trail 34-6. They will get the ball to start, and at the moment you just try to make it a competitive game. But really the strengths and weaknesses of these teams help the Tigers. The Tigers are so strong with their passing game downfield. The weakness for the Trojans is the secondary. Trojans' strength is on the ground. They can't do much in the air, but the Tigers' strength on the defense is that strong defensive line doesn't allow rushing yards, and there's just not a... Trojans have to go out of their comfort zone, and they have not been able to do much of that. Gorgeous field, frigid night if you're a Trojan fan. It's a beautiful, enjoyable Friday evening if you are a Tiger fan. Awaiting the opening kickoff. It will be Medina. I'm sorry, that is so that's the senior quarterback. He'll be gone next year at least, but he has looked good. Mentioned though, so many weapons on that wide receivers are young, but they have some electric players even if they've had some drops. Turner will receive, looking to make some moves. He's tackled down at the 25, and that's where the Trojan offense will start the second half. Freitas has gotten a few options, but has not been able to break one for a touchdown like we saw the first two games of the year. And we'll see if any halftime adjustments were made. And where the Trojans are their heads up, can they keep a good attitude here? A little bit under center, and it's Ralston behind him, who we mentioned just 14 yards. He's been shut down. They're going to start with a pass. It's Garrett Freitas who will catch it, and he's wrapped up, maybe got a yard. And that will keep it 2nd and 10. They're going to give him a yard, nothing more. So we mentioned JV football team undefeated on the year. Trojans were looking to remain undefeated on the year, but that's not looking too good right now. And both of these teams battling for NCS position. Annalee was ranked 8th NCS, Trojans 9th. But they hope that's not going to remain because I don't think they want to face Annalee again at NCS. We will see. They'll give it to Freitas, and they wrap him up right at the line. And this Annalee team looks well rested. They have the whole game out of their bye, and they look strong there. Under 11 to go here in the third, and starting to shape up into a long night for Trojan fans, bundled up in their towels with the fog sitting over this gorgeous field here. It's really nice. Snack shack, got nice stairs, nice lighting, and full stands. Really, really well done stands with the accessible for anybody and everybody, and lots of families here in the lovely city, Sebastopol. Freitas came in motion, came back. Wolbert will step back, and he had Freitas open, but he just overthrew him off the mark. How are your grades, Eric? Solid? Hopefully. How are you doing tonight, Eric?
Good.
Man, a few words, but doing a great job with the camera tonight. Doesn't get no reward for this besides my thanks, but out of the goodness of his heart, wanting to help out. Ayers will punt it away. This is a low liner. It's gonna bounce down, and Derek Pomey, the junior, has a strong game as always. We'll take it at the 45. Don't forget to stay tuned after the game. We will have some interviews. We'll see how that goes. Certainly the Trojans are not going to be too delighted, but some interesting questions to ask Coach Christ, I think, about how this game has shaped up. I can pay for your food. No?
That would work.
All right. There you go. There's your reward. Feel bad, you know? Cold Friday night. It would be fun if it was a tight game. At the moment, it's not. Hard count by Medina. Trojans don't bite that time, but yeah, certainly some rare undiscipline by them. They jumped off sides, just some lazy plays. I think once their head was down. Screen out wide. Havard was the first man there. He'll wrap him up at the 49. And expect this to happen a lot more at the Annalee Field with a lot of the teams they have to face. Be interesting. They'll travel to El Molino, as will the Trojans. Apple Cup. We'll see if Almo's got any chance against Annalee, but Tigers have looked unbeatable. That is dropped. It was a little bit behind the Tiger receiver. That was certainly a name that the Trojans have not enjoyed seeing. Ponzo, the senior, who's had 3 touchdowns tonight, doubling his total for the season. Had 3 coming in. He has been electric. Looking downfield, and there is Ponzo. Ball is out. Ponzo had it. Ball came out late, but Ponzo found it and landed right back on it at the 40, and the Tigers will progress down the field. Pomey with another tackle. Keeps on doing that well. $9:28 remaining and counting. Both teams with nice cheerleader performances at the half. Split out wide, and the catch is made. Weiser will do a good job after the first tackle, stretching forward, and I believe Nate Visser did get the first. Actually, they're going to mark him a yard short, so it's going to be 2nd and 1 at the 30. And Jack Newman is just joining the Annalee play-by-play crew, which is along right side me. I don't think the Trojans want to see him, but Medina's looking like the next prodigy. He's going to take over the head. Jack Newman, pretty much a legend here at Annalee. If you were a Tiger fan, you might want to ask for a signature, as we have a delayed game penalty on the Tigers. Might want to ask for his signature. He's a 3-sport star athlete. He's wearing the Patriots beanie cap, so he's as cool as Tom Brady, I guess. And an outstanding baseball player. He was a fantastic pitcher who shut down the Trojan offensive attack. He was a starting power forward as they look downfield. Does Annalee, and it is caught. What a catch in double coverage. Freitas was all over Weiser, and he somehow hauled it in. Medina put that one on a line and right into the hands. Just a gorgeous looking throw. Jack Newman has taught Medina well, and he is looking wonderful. Here again, chest bumps by Annalee. They are certainly playing their best game of the year. Everything just continues to go right for them. Escovillo, extra point, awaiting. Yeah. It's good. Eric has very appropriately gone down to get food. Well deserves it. Filming on this cold, cold night. And it will be Escovillo to kick it away. 41-8 the score. Such a good kicker. He go pro with kicks like that, all the way back to the 5, high in the air. However, it does give Freitas some time. He'll bring it out to the 25, and he is brought down there. 8:18 remaining here in the third. Trojans have 2 split out wide. It will be Wolbert who has a man, and it is Freitas who's gotten lots of action tonight. He's fully healthy, which is good news for them. Was out against Terra Linda and looked bagged up last week against Costa, so that was certainly something that hurt their offense, but they haven't done much offensively here tonight. Freitas or no Freitas, and it's Ralston was slowed last week. He made some big plays defensively, but he has been completely shut out of it. The Trojans have gone to airs more so, and Ralston's going to have to make some adjustments if he wants to be the impact player he was the first 3 games, because teams are finding ways to stop him. Wolbert will hand it off, ball on the ground, and that was Ralston, who's had fumble problems. He has 6 fumbles on the year. He landed right on it, and it will be a first down for the Trojans, moving the chain. 7:31 remaining. Sorry, that actually was theirs. And clock will continue to run. Trojans at the 35. Wolbert under center. Havard, the one wide receiver, split out wide. Oh, I'm sorry. Blomgren was the other way. Looks for him. He's beating the defense. The pass was underthrown, though. And that's just the difference. Medina, you saw him throw that last pass, put it on a wire into the hands of the Tiger receiver. There, that Blomgren had beaten the Tiger cornerback, but it was just underthrown by Wolbert. He throws that even just a little overthrow. Blomgren could probably railed it, and he gets it in the end zone. But Wolbert just cannot connect on those deep passes very much. He struggled so much with that, and you thought second year you'd see that more, but he has been largely inaccurate downfield. So 2nd and 10. Wolbert under center. And he'll fake it and take it himself. Breaks the tackle. Now he's got the first. Now he cuts across the field and is down to the 47. Wolbert under center. Ayers behind him. Give it to... No, I'm sorry. It was Turner who came in motion. That was a nice play there. Little creativity. And he is brought down at the 41. 5-yard pickup at the 41 now. 2nd and 4 for the Trojans. As mentioned, they'll be at Sonoma next week. Annalee has Marin Catholic back here at home next Friday night, and that is going to be a tough one. The high schooler Jared Goff, who torched the 49ers last night, the now LA Ram, their starting quarterback looking pretty good. And Marin Catholic's got quite a football powerhouse, so Annalee, if they play this well tonight, can be competitive, I think, but that's going to be a tough one for them. And they have such a tough non-conference schedule. Freitas is brought down short, maybe picked up a yard. Annalee will then jump into their league play. They're 4 straight games here at home. They'll face Sonoma and Pioneer here at home. They'll be on the road at Healdsburg, back home against El Molino, and then finishing at LC Allen on the 3rd. And the other tough break, team will get a bye in SCL, and the Trojans are having to have that their very last week. They do not play before their NCS game, which could be considered an advantage, but often you want to break. Ayers breaking some tackles and still going. A strong run by Dominic Ayers. Down to the 29, first down, and Trojans are having a nice longer drive. They convert on that 3rd down, and there's little pressure or nerves now with this one long in the books, and the Trojan offense can really open it up. So, as we mentioned, Trojans home, Sonoma Valley next Saturday. Wolbert will roll out right into a gang full of Tigers. And the offensive line has just not stood up tonight, and they've tried pass plays. Wolbert mostly just has not had time. After the Sonoma game, Trojans will head to Piner on the 7th, seeing they have ruled. Then it should be a fun homecoming night on the 13th, Friday night, against Healdsburg at home. Of course, in Casa, all home games with Steve Ellison Field under construction should be ready around March. Wolbert sends Diaz in motion. This time it's Ralston, and he picks up about 5. 10 men for both. Wolbert will now break out. Receivers breaking out, looking in the end zone, just overthrew it. A nice play there. He had Blomgren, but just overthrew it. Just it's been a little inaccurate. Has not been able to connect. Annalee did play better offensively against Newman when they put up 26 points after they were really blasted by Rancho 48-3. So they knew their offense was capable, and we've seen that tonight. Because Newman has a strong defense. The week before, Newman had faced St. Mary's of Stockton, one of the top teams in the state, and almost beat them. Wolbert will fake, trying a lot of passes, and they've got a screen set up with Freitas. He is brought down at the 16, and that is going to be the first down, so that was 4th and 7. The Trojans go for it, they get it, they have tried some passes. When they have the protection, the screens have worked a little bit, and this is that nice long drive they like down the field. It's too little too late today, but this will be what they want in the future, and you're going to be facing teams of these quality NCS if you want to win a game or two there. But Trojans will be looking forward to the SCL schedule, as we talked about. Wolbert just spinning, trying to pick up some extra yards. Got about 3 or 4. They'll give him 4 on the carry. Casa a NCS playoff game. Wolbert rolls out. He's almost intercepted. It was off target. He had Freitas open, and he just missed them. And Wolbert has just been off on those throws. He has to make those. But where's the food?
I ate one already.
Oh, okay. It's there.
Second one.
Oh, Eric is what's the word? Gobbled down one hamburger. It's ready for the second. Deserves all of it. Trojans trying to punch it in. It's been a long drive, over 5 minutes here. Converted a 4th down and a couple thirds. Freitas comes in motion up the middle. Wolbert under center. It is Ayers behind him, and in motion is Freitas. He dives for the goal line, and oh my, he's a foot short. That's just not fun. The Trojans drove 79.5 yards down the field, only in 5 minutes, only to be given a half a yard short, and the misery just continues. Annalee will take over on downs, and they will get it on the shadow of their own goalpost, but leading 41-8. Trojans at least getting some rest there for their defense, but that's the only moral victory in that one. 8 seconds remaining here in the third. And Trojans will have to pick their heads up. How are they going to deal with a first loss? We will see. Last year was a lot different. They had a much tougher non-conference schedule. Struggled start of the year. They were 0-4 after getting crushed by Annalee. And then they rolled off those 7 straight victories. Maybe a little opposite here. Won their first 4 games. Still didn't get blowed out by Annalee. Now what do they do next? That's the question. And that one is almost intercepted it. Are they really going to intercept? They are. Isaiah Blomgren with the pick. It was a poor throw. And Blomgren dived on the ground, gave his full effort, and picked that one off. Trojans will get the ball right back at the 14. Justin Wolbert, nicknamed Boogie, and Trojans have seen the Boogie Monster on defense tonight. Still trying to punch it in after the interception by Blomgren. trying to get their second touchdown of the night, but too inconsistent on offense. And they've tried to get Freitas going, but against better defenses, Freitas has looked a lot more human. He's still got that athletic good skill, but it has just not been breaking away, breaking tackles, and just not like what we saw against Montgomery and Santa Rosa, against certainly two defenses that were not as skilled. Mentioned realignment briefly. We will know exactly the realignment on October 3rd when NCS will vote on it, but the likely realignment will have these two rival teams, probably best two sports teams in SCL, not facing each other anymore. And the Trojans might be glad about that, the way Annalee is dominated on a lot of plays, and Ayers is driven the wrong way on 3rd and 8, and the Trojans will likely go for it on 4th down with 11 minutes remaining in this one and counting. So the realignment has the Trojans going into a Sonoma South / Napa League. It would be, Petaluma and Casa are not happy about it. That is certainly a fact. We don't know if it's for certain, but it would be the proposed league, and one that was approved by everybody, including our principal, David Sturrett, and everybody, CASA principal and the Sonoma Valley principal, has Petaluma, Sonoma Valley, CASA, Justin Siena, Vintage, Napa, and American Canyon in one league, and it would be rough for the Trojans. It's a long travel time. Here's the 4th down. They've got him at touchdown. There is Garrett Freitas in the end zone, and good to see. Trojans want to have their hand held high for something, and Wolbert found Freitas. They've gone to the pass a lot more to try it, and that time that pass was right there, and that will make it 41-14. Trojans are way behind, but nice there, and it looks like they're going to go for 2. They come out of the huddle very quickly, so Annalee was not ready, and Wolbert's going to walk pretty much into the end zone for 2. Little late dive at the end, and then some extracurriculars, but everyone is helping everyone up, and that's the good sportsmanship you like between two rival schools. 41-16, 10-15 remaining here in the 4th quarter. Ponzo, who is 200 yards on the day, back deep. And we'll see here in the 4th quarter if the Trojans try to get some players that have not played as much out on the field. Many of them will be playing next year with so many seniors that will be gone. And we're going to have to face these Annalee Tigers, so good to see the experience. We're going to have an onside kick, very good one, and it was almost recovered. That was perfect by Blomgren. Blomgren had a really nice on kick last week, and that was a good one there. It hopped right up, but the Annalee Tiger held on to it. So Annalee will take over at the 45s, 10-12 remaining. So we were talking about the realignment, and this is all because of those 3 Napa teams, which are American Canyon, Vintage, and Napa moving into NCS, and there was a lot of debate where to put them, but they were likely going to go with some of the Sonoma County teams, and right now the decision to put them with the South Sonoma County teams. All the other teams in Sonoma County, such as Annalee, Santa Rosa, Montgomery, Windsor, Elsie, all the rest of the teams in SCL, as Medina looks downfield in double coverage. It is caught. That is unbelievable. I mean, that is just not fair. Second time we've seen it, and I don't think that was Vesser already has one great catch. Looks like he hurt his back, but that ridiculous. That is perfect coverage by the Trojans, and Medina, who just has such big shoes to fill with Jack Newman, a perfect throw. Perfect. And the catch was made up the middle. Kolobakis, the senior 5'11 running back, 185, big and bruising. He's the backup running back. Change of pace with Simpson, who we saw break 1, mostly been limited on the line, but Annalee has just used that passing game, and they're down to the 10, 2nd and 3 from the 7. 9:31. So all the Sonoma County leagues will be organized into a double super league, as looking out wide, that pass should have been intercepted twice, and instead it's incomplete. First, Havard came across, never saw the ball being thrown. Then the pass was dropped by the Annalee receiver, and Blomgren and Ralston had their hands all over that, but couldn't come up with it. So that will bring up a 3rd and 3 from the 7. It's not goal yet. Trojan's trying to get a stop here. And they will hand it off to Simpson, and he's going nowhere. Good tackle by Ralston out wide. Trojan's still fighting. So that Super League will compose of 20 teams. They will be organized based on their competitive equity per sport. So, like, you would likely see Annalee, Cardinal Newman, Windsor, maybe El Molino in that top league for football. But if you're looking at other sports, let's say tennis, obviously that would be different. You would see Maria Carrillo, you would see Cardinal Newman up in that top league. So all depends on sports. And then there would be, as we have a penalty as they're trying the field goal, and Annalee has 10 men, or 12 men lined up, and you can only have 11. Pavin will take off and get a stern talking to from James Foster, the new Annalee head coach, who's done an admirable job, and you don't say this a lot, but he's probably out-coached Coach Chris tonight. And so now this will make it a 35-yard field goal for Escamilla. And he has looked really good tonight, so this should be nothing for him. Trojans have a defender back there in case it's short. Everybody does that after Chris Davis. And that, he missed it wide left. Trojans take over, trading 41-16. They need a miracle and the Tigers to probably collapse on themselves and then do it 5 times over. But look at the ball back here. Winning the fourth quarter, 8-0, 8:33 left. And so the Trojans, Casa, Sonoma would not be involved in that Super League, and certainly plus the minuses to that. But the problem with the Trojans is they're going to have to travel so far. If they're going to have to go all the way to Napa, teams they have not played, and some of the Vintage and Napa are both so much bigger schools, it's going to be hard for the Trojans and Casa and Sonoma to compete in some, such as football. That's going to be tough to compete. Other sports, though, those teams are not as strong, and so Trojans could be very dominant in other sections, such as volleyball, golf, tennis. Trojans could rule, so it'll be interesting if that is it, but it definitely doesn't benefit the Trojans just because of the far travel team and some unknown players. However, obviously great to have Casa and Sonoma back in the league, but Annalee is a traditional rival, and taking it himself is Wolbert, rumbling down, and I believe actually that is not Wolbert. But I believe, let's just check, that was indeed Colt Powers has entered the game, and he played one series against Sonoma, and when in garbage time, he comes in, and as we have a flag, he took a nice rumble for 17 yards there, and he's a really talented player. He's pushed Wolbert, and we'll see how he does. The way that Wolbert is throwing, and he's struggling right now, you wonder if Powers could get a look. Certainly not full-time, as he just doesn't know the offense as well, but maybe if they want him to throw a little bit and mix it up. So Trojans with some new players out there. Wolbert, one of them. Powers, one of them, replacing Wolbert, whose rough night is over, and then an additional flag on Annalee is going to tack on some extra yardage here. Colton Pareto now the running back. So a lot of Daxton Hoggia, Trey Davis also in there. Many of these juniors getting a good look. Mike Barabalt, member of Trojan Live, now in at center. Good to see him there. And actually offsetting penalties because Trojans had one. So the 1st and 10 from the 37. So it might be the very last time these two teams take the field in football for a long, long time. And the Trojans are going to leave with a bitter taste in their mouth. It is Colt Powers under center. Not attempted a pass yet. We'll see if he shows off that arm. Another QB take. Oh, really nice fake out wide. Turner's still in there. He's going to rumble down in a late tackle, it should have been, by for a stitch. They're not going to give it. Out at the 39. Really nice play there by Powers. Looked like he was going to run. Late pitch. And Turner picks up some extra yardage. But they've had some mistakes giving it to Turner, but he can be effective. He's had some big runs this year, including a 62-yarder against Santa Rosa, touchdown, 232 rushing yards for Justin Turner. So he's that breakaway. Ayers is the bruiser, Ralston's the short yardage, and Freitas the change of pace, the speedy guy. And there are more running backs behind them, but they don't get much of a look. And now they're going to toss on to Freitas. He breaks one tackle, but he still can't get back to the line of scrimmage. Anley's got some of their backups in, and they're going to get in on the action, making a tackle for a loss. The House of Horrors continues here at the home of the Tigers, the Anley Field. They have not won here in a long, long time, and they may not be back for a long time. And they're not going to have any complaints about that. 2nd and 15. Colt Powers working on his second drive. And if he'd snapped it quick, he would have gotten 12 men as Nunez for Tigers came out. But instead, they will hand it off up the middle. And getting back about a yard past the line of scrimmage is Prieto. Under 7 to go, winding down the clock. Prieto, a wrestling SCL weight class winner for the wrestling team that won SCL last year. Some talented athletes on this Trojan squad in a variety of sports. This is up the middle. And a good pickup. 9-yard pickup. That was Holmes, the senior. And Trojans continue running clock. Still will not get the first. They're going to have about 4th down and a long 2. And if there's any hope left, I guess this will do it. Powers getting a good test against a good defense here. Fakes the snap, and he's got a man wide open. I believe that is Blumgren. He's wrapped up at the 20. First completion of Colt Powers' varsity career. Remember that? He's going to have many more. And it looked nice there. He's leading a nice drive here, so has to be satisfied with that. 1st and 10 now at the 25. Trojans trying to punch it in once more. It's still at 27 points. So Trojans would have to rail off quite a run. Powers airmailed that one over the head of this receiver. Looking for Pedersen. 25. There's a reason I'm not too good at math. That's why Eric's here for me. And 5:38. Make sure to check out all of our other football videos that we have. So we had all football games. We have our full broadcast for our home games. So we have the Montgomery Santa Rosa games, complete full broadcast, a thrilling Terra Linda comeback victory. You can check that out. He's looking downfield for Freitas, and Freitas did a good job, probably just to break up an interception. Actually, that was not Freitas. It was Daxton Hagia, the junior wide receiver, who's in my Spanish class. Nice man. Also on wrestling. And that will bring up a 3rd and 10. But Powers taking some shots here. A powerful arm. And he'll be the starting quarterback next year. So at the 22, 5:33 remaining. And as mentioned, all the football videos. The cost of the game also up. We don't have any audio, but that is up there. Student section, chanting defense. They have not expelled all their energy they wanted to tonight because of the blowout. Powers overthrew that one, and you're seeing the growing pains. He was looking for Hagia again, but couldn't get it. A lot of juniors on the field right now, and they will be the leaders next year for the Trojans. A JV team that at points struggled, but this year the JV team's been quite good. So certainly some of those players will be up on the senior squad next year. It'll be interesting to see. 4th down and 10. Trojans will go for it. Diamond formation. And it will be Powers rolling out, takes his time, looking downfield, he's got a man, it's Riley Wisman. Touchdown, Trojans. Well done by Colt Powers, his first touchdown pass of his varsity career, and he rolled out right, took his time, and the zone defense broke down. When the offensive line gives time, as you can see there, it will often turn out well. And so Trojans will go up quickly and try for 2 here. 41-22, but we have some quick whistles. Timeout. Trojans, they now trail by 19? Is that right? Yep. So Trojans are actually awfully close. If only maybe there'd been an extra point missed, they could have actually got down to a two possession game, and the Tigers would have to bring their starters back out. But even with the 2-point conversion, it's still 17-point lead. Trojans would probably try an onside, but you're going to need a field goal and then 2 additional touchdowns and all those onside kicks, and that would be well, a miracle unlike anything ever seen in high school football. But stick around with us for the final 5:23. And you can check out all of our other sports videos. We just had a sports corner up. That was posted, I believe, earlier this afternoon, actually. So tons of interviews there, over 15 minutes of all the sports teams getting coverage. Girls golf, girls tennis, cross country, of course the football team and the volleyball team. Interviews, highlights, analysis, banter. It's a lot of fun. Check it out if you're into Trojan sports. They'll head for 2. Hogg is the one receiver split out wide. They're going to fake it, does Powers. Well done. Into the end zone. Colt Powers leading a solid drive. 2-point conversion down to 17 now, and they'll have an onside kick here. It's not just over yet. Trojans have played with heart here in this 4th quarter and not gone away, and definitely some what-ifs. What if they had converted that 4th down after having the interception, cut it to a 2-possession game at halftime? What if they had not had all those turnovers? What if Annalee had not struck on the very first play of the game and the Trojans were punched in the face, down and out, and never responded? And they had faced adversity, but maybe not this good of a team, and they're not made for playing behind. And we saw that, and they just look so unconfident and tense. And you've seen here, they've played much more of their style brand of football in this 4th quarter with the game long over and just been comfortable done their offense. But when the game was tense, they just looked so timid around the Tigers, and offensively they couldn't do things. Defensively, just way too many breakdowns for such a good quarterback, and offense is the Tigers so electric. It's going to be Blomgren to try the onside kick, you would assume, here with 5:23 remaining. Annalee ready with it with 8 men up. Here is the onside. It takes that bounce, but not high enough, and landed on, and that will mostly do it. How is that guy in a tank top on a 40-degree night? I don't know. That's pretty impressive. 5:22 remaining. Annalee's offense will take over. They might bring in their backup with this game pretty much put to bed. Their backup quarterback is it's actually Visser. Visser is the only. I'm not actually sure. Don't have anybody else listed as a quarterback. Visser has attempted 1 pass on the year, so Medina will stay in. So who knows who will be the quarterback next year, but you're bound to be tutoring someone somewhere. I don't know what they feed them up in Sebastopol, but they just churn out quarterbacks. Jack Newman, and this kid Medina's only going to get 1 year of torturing teams, but he's looking good. First down there on the pass. 5:14 and counting. Annalee will be happy to run down the clock. Leading by 17. Score is misleading, though. It was more lopsided than that. Medina's got another man open. Dipping and darting and tackled down by Griffin Sizemore, his first tackle of the year. More backups in. Shares a name with me. Yeah, and Pioneer cross-country coach Morales, wandering. Don't know what he's looking for. Maybe he knows we're here and is trying to scout us out, seduce us. And we're facing Pioneer in 2 weeks, the cross-country team, and he's got Ponzi, and he just overthrew him. Don't know why Ponzi's still in there. I think Trojans have seen enough of him tonight. But Medina overthrew him that time. was much more open the last few times they threw it to him, but somehow was able to get those in. 3rd and 3 from the 31. And the final minutes of this cool night. Trojans will take their first loss of the year, go to 4-1 on the season. And that is caught, and breaking tackles down to the 10-yard line is Sam Ballinger, the senior 5'11" wide receiver. Annalee will go to 2-2 on the year, 1-0 in the league, ranked 254th in California. An impressive victory tonight. Will probably raise their NCS ranking too. Up the middle, breaking a tackle is the Greek guy, Kolobakos. Got 7 yards, and 2nd and 3. First down's at the 2-yard line. It's not goalie yet. Under 4 to go. Medina in the gun. Kolobakos to his right. And he's got a man, and it is caught. Touchdown Tigers, and the young secondary, most of them will be back. Trojans need to learn, you just got to turn your head when you're covering as a quarterback. That's too easy for Medina. As on the coverage there, trying to find the number on my overly detailed spreadsheet. Extra point is good. 48-24, and it is 24-point lead now. Annalee in control. 3:48 remaining here. So kickoff here. It's been good sportsmanship tonight. We saw that last week at Casa. Everybody was so happy about that after the Trojans' thrilling 2014 victory, as that is sort of batted down and then running around in circles and beaten into cruel oblivion is Dominic Ayers. He's had a strong effort tonight. Biggest play of the day for the Trojans, a 60-yard run, but that was no fun for him. The Tiger Band will patter away. It is cool tonight, probably down to 40 degrees-ish. Fall is officially hit here, and you can feel it. And so, good sportsmanship last week against Casa. Only one after the play penalty, and it was quickly apologized for. Players helping each other up. I mean, after all the issues, is a late toss by Powers will almost went out of bounds. Freitas fell on it before it did. It picks up about 3. 3:30 and counting to go, and good sportsmanship also tonight. Both teams have got along, even rivals, and that is so important to see that these teams are capable of that and can really put aside the rivalries and issues and spirit of the game. Up the middle, that is a first down. That was Ortiz with the first down, and the Trojans going so deep into their depth chart, it's off my depth chart. First and 10 from the 22. PA announcer badly needs some coffee. He might just fall asleep right on the job. We've all done it before. Wouldn't blame him late in this one, but he's going to have some more boring nights of the way Annalee's playing with some of their SCL competition coming up. Colt Powers has got a first down, and he's looking good on the ground. He's a nimble player. He's long and agile, and Powers last year on JV, 248 passing yards, but it had 134 yards on the ground, had 5 starts on the season, and the JV team won just 3 games, and he was starting when they did. Gehring also started a few games. He's still on JV now, backing up Justin Plumtree, who will likely be the backup to Powers next year. And we had an interview with Plumtree, who's done a really good job and has done a good job with his wide receivers. So after the run, 2nd and 7, under 2 to go, 48-24. We got a lot of other videos on Trojan Live you can check out. So like this video, subscribe to the channel. Feel free to leave a comment. Out wide, it is dropped. It was a good pass by Powers. And it was Hoga who couldn't hold on. So we have daily morning announcements every morning live at 8:30. With tons of fun stuff and news, information, feature stories, sports, of course, tip of the day, tip of the week now, actually. And then also we have a lot of feature stories that will go up. Everything from last year is still on the channel if you miss anything. Any other sports coverage, all our sports coverage from last year. You can watch any of the football games from last year, other sporting events. Powers, a bizarre-looking pass. He's got Freitas wide open. Wow. What an interesting move by Powers. He was turned the wrong way. You're seeing how good a mover he is. He just rolled right out there and turned and fired a strike to Wisman, who again found the zone there, and a nice pickup of about 30. I haven't seen Justin Walbert make that good of a downfield pass. And the way Powers has looked, I know a lot of backups in, but I think it will be, I think he's testing Walbert. The way Walbert has looked with the passing game, he has really struggled downfield. You have to wonder, Powers, a strong, agile runner. Walbert not bad, but he's a little bit more of a bruiser, not as fast. And will be interesting to see what Coach Chris decides with Colt Powers there. 118, Trojans calling timeout. To recap a long night here. Also, Colt Powers might be on varsity basketball this year, was on JV basketball last year. Justin Walbert will be joining him on senior basketball. Trojans will be in the pit, the gym alongside us, just behind us where we are, up top here, the press box. Powers has a man wide open. It's Colton Prieto into the end zone. Touchdown, Trojans. They've certainly found their offense with these backups here. And we might just have to talk to Colt Powers. He has been impressive tonight. Coming in. A strong pass there. Again, the O-line gives him time, and that's key. And the Trojans, as bad as their starting offense was, they're still going to put up at least 30 points, likely try for 2 here, and this would make it a 2-possession game. So if they could get 2 onside kicks, the 2-point conversion and the touchdowns, I guess if we're not done yet. Trojans head in for additional 2 as Powers takes it in. Everyone laughed. They thought it was over, but it's a 2-possession game. Can the Trojans get the miracle at Annalee? I don't know what else to call it. Annalee must just be aware. Trojans have really put up a good fight, and this was what you want to see. They never caved in, even down, and James Foster, the new coach for Annalee, having a long conversation with the Tigers, making sure they understand their responsibilities on this onside kick. All of a sudden, if the Trojans get the ball here, the Annalee fans will be just sweating a little bit. You never know what might happen. We've certainly seen it all in high school football, college football. You never know. Blomgren will head out. He's had some strong onside kicks, but Annalee just so strong. They have had some drops by their wide receivers, but 3 onside kicks by the Trojans, and Annalee has controlled all of them. And that one was quick and not what you wanted. It just bounced right into the hands of the Annalee defender. They tried to do a quick one. Hoped Annalee wasn't ready. They were. Might be young, but they look experienced and battle tested tonight, did the Tigers. Trojans have just 1 timeout left and unlikely able to stop the clock. And 1:10 remaining, 48-32 the score. Winding down, stay tuned after the game for interviews. Check out everything else on Trojan Live we have to offer. And then we'll also be live streaming basketball. I mentioned the pit behind us. It's such a loud environment. I actually lost my voice the last time I was there. I had a horrible cough. So loud there after we have a victory knee here by Medina. So loud in that pit because it's these long stands in the basketball court at the bottom of them, and the Trojans got blown out of the water. But they'll be back here, and they played Annalee competitive in the SCL Tournament Championship game and at home. So basketball team, we will see how they are doing. That season will start in November, and we'll have live streams for the vast majority of their home games, along with the girls should be a return almost everybody. Medina just needs one more knee here, and he's watching the clock and getting ready to take it. And so it will be interesting to see how both basketball teams do, but that is going to do it. Final score from Annalee. It is the Annalee Tigers 48, the Petaluma Trojans 32, and interviews are coming up next, so don't go anywhere. Trojans fall to 4-1 on the year, take their first loss. Annalee goes to 2-2. And the final buzzer will make it official, 48-32. Here with Coach Chris after the loss, and team was down early. What went wrong?
Too many mental mistakes. Put the ball on the ground. Kind of one of our goals was to not, keep control of the ball, keep long drives, and we just didn't do it. We nothing that they really did. Really a lot of unforced errors. We just didn't play well in the very beginning, and they came out and we were in the wrong coverage in the first part of the game, and they hit us right away, and it was kind of downhill ever since after that. So then we got a few drives, but it didn't amount to much. So hats off to them. They played better than we did tonight. They played their best game. We played our worst.
Team battled in the fourth quarter and showed a lot of fight. What do you think that showed about this team and their mentality?
I think we got great kids that fought all the way to the end. Nobody gave up. The kids that were in there are guys that don't get a lot of minutes, and they did a great job. That was really nice to see. I was really happy for them.
How do you want this tough loss to motivate the team going forward?
Well, we got to get better. We have to practice better next week. I put it all on everybody that we got to look in the mirror and improve. As I'll take care of my stuff. They got to take care of their stuff. This loss is on everyone, coaches and players.
Thank you, Coach. All right, we are here with Colt Powers. You had a first really long stay as varsity quarterback. How do you think it went?
It went well. I had a lot of fun. I mean, it's tough because we got the loss, but just learn every week and get better next week.
And the team showed a lot of fight in the fourth quarter. What do you feel that showed about the mentality and how this team battles back?
No, it's great to see that from the team, but we just need to do that all 4 quarters instead of the fourth. But good job, guys,
Team has struggled passing downfield. You look pretty good in the fourth quarter doing that. Do you anticipate having some opportunities in some bigger moments to offer that to the team?
Yeah, I hope so, but I hope so, yeah.
What do you feel like the team needs to work on as the season goes along to bounce back from a tough loss like this?
We need to come out strong first quarter. Obviously, we have not as good teams coming up, but we need to get ready every week, and the playoffs is what's basically really up next.
Thank you so much, Cole.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. That was Colt Powers, and that is going to wrap it up tonight. Thank you for the JV football players. Really good interview. They get a victory. That's the highlight tonight. Thank you to Coach Chris for the interview, and thank you to Colt Powers for the interview. The highlight of the night had to been Dominic Ayers' 80-yard run, but Colt Powers and the backups look really strong in the fourth quarter. Made it a closer game than it looked. Trojans fell by 16. They fall to 4-1 on the year. 0-1 in SCL play. They will battle Sonoma next Saturday, and we will be hopefully live streaming it. If not, it will be up by Sunday morning, so check that out. Eric did a wonderful, just come on out, Eric, come on. Eric Carver did an amazing job tonight. Thank you, Eric, for helping so much. And do you want us to say goodnight to everyone?
Good night, guys.
All right, I'm Griffin Epstein. Thanks so much for tuning in. Good night.